welcome or welcome back to my channel from wherever you are in the world. I know I have a few viewers from Italy, from Australia, from America, so hello to all of you. Hope you're all having a lovely day or night wherever you are. I wanted to make this video today that's a little bit different from my usual videos. I'm still going to be talking about Italy, don't get me wrong, but I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into the language, and specifically for people who have never been to Italy before, aren't familiar with the language, and just want to know a few basic words and phrases that will get them by during their stay in Italy. It did really help me because I did know a bit of the language before I went, so I went into there with like, I guess, an intermediate / basic knowledge of the Italian language, and it really helped to get me by before I was, you know, learning more and more as I was going along. So I hope this video can be really helpful. I'm going to start with words, and then I'm going to go into like question words, and then at the end I'll go into phrases, so phrases that I feel like will really help you in your everyday life, or things if you just want to like connect to Italians more or entertain them or whatever. So starting off with words, the first one is obviously ciao. And if you're not familiar with this one, you've been living under a rock, because it's said in Australia all the time. I'm sure it's said all around the world as like, not a joke greeting, but there are Italians all around the world, and I know Australians in particular love, I guess, delving into their language, into their culture, interspersing it in our everyday life. So we'll be like, oh, ciao. But in Italy this is a must know, obviously, because it means both hello and goodbye, and you'll use it every single day, every night, everywhere you go. So the next one is come stai, which means how are you. So again, another basic one that you need to know. The next one is Grazia, which means thank you. Prego, which means you're welcome. Actually, prego can have a few different meanings. So the most basic meaning, I guess, for it is you're welcome. So it will be like a response to Grazia. But if, for example, and I had this a lot, if I was on the tram or something, I was going to get off the tram and there was like a line of people, someone might stop ahead of me, put their hand out and be like, prego, like you go first, kind of thing. Or it happens again if you're waiting in a line and you have to stand back a little bit from the counter, and then the person at the counter before you leaves, and then the person behind the counter will say to you, prego, as in like next waiting. So yeah, it can have a few different meanings, but yeah, that's that one. The next one is si, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, is yes. The next one is buongiorno, which means good morning. And then buonasera / buonanotte. So buonasera means good evening, so you say it in like the afternoon / early evening, so maybe until like 7 or 8 p.m. And then if you're leaving a group of friends, for example, that you're hanging out with at night or something, you say buona serata or buonanotte, but buonanotte is more used like right before you're going to sleep. So if you're saying goodnight to someone or whatever, so yeah, that's the difference between those two. The next one is scusa / scusi, and in Italian, you don't really, I'm not going to delve too deep into formal and informal, but on an everyday basis you would use scusa as like sorry or excuse me. They do have I guess a word for sorry, which is mi dispiace, but they don't use that a lot unless they're saying like they're sorry about something, like expressing, I guess, not condolences, but if they're saying, oh, I'm so sorry about this or your loss or whatever. But if they say run into you on the street or something, it's just like, oh, scusa, which is like, I guess kind of like a passing expression, as opposed to mi dispiace, which is more like I'm sorry, and it's more meaningful. And then scusi, it's just one letter difference. And the difference between scusa and scusi is that scusi is the formal way. So say if you're talking to an old person or you're talking to a professor at university, that's the kind of instance that you would use scusi instead of scusa, because it's like the more formal way of saying it, and it's like, I guess, a sign of respect for your elders and people who, I guess, above you. Then we have permesso, which you'll need a lot of the time on public transport. Say if you're like getting out of a really full metro and you say permesso, permesso, and people will like move out of the way. I guess it's like a way of saying let me pass, or excuse me please, but like instead of scusa, it's more so like may I pass. It's not like excuse me. The next one is piacere, and this one's crucial if you're meeting new people. It's what you say. It means nice to meet you. So you could say piacere when you're shaking someone's hand when you're meeting them for the first time, or when you're leaving someone that you met for the first time, you could say è stato un piacere conoscerti, which means it was a pleasure to meet you. That one's a little bit more complicated, but you guys will get the gist of it as you go along. The next one is niente, and this one has a few different meanings as well. So the main meaning, I guess, well, in the context that I'm using it, it means nothing, or it's nothing. So it's basically used as either when you're saying nothing, or if you're replying to someone, say you did someone a favor and you say thank you or grazia, and they're like di niente, and it's, I guess, a way of saying, oh, it's nothing, like don't worry about it, which I really like that one. I think it's quite nice, and it's a little bit, I guess, colloquial. The next one is something that I've spoken about before a little bit on this channel, is boh, which basically means I don't know. And I've just spoken about before how it was kind of like the equivalent of in English, or when we don't know something but we don't want to say like the whole I don't know, we just kind of make this sound that doesn't really mean anything at all. They do a similar thing in Italian, so they say boh if they don't know anything, and it's always like boh, like goes higher pitched. It's funny. It's pretty funny. They all do it, and it's kind of like a subconscious thing as well. Like a lot of them don't even realize they're doing it. But yeah. The next one is one that I really love as well. It's magari, and it's kind of like I guess it could mean, it's not quite the same as maybe, it's similar, but the difference between maybe and magari is like maybe is just like, oh yeah, maybe that would happen, or you would say magari if someone says, for example, oh, I wish I could see you today, and you might reply magari, as in expressing desire to do something. So that, yeah, the main difference is like expressing desire. So you can say it in the context that you would say maybe, but it's not quite the same thing. It's more so of expressing desire to do something, rather than saying like, oh, maybe it will happen. The last word I'm gonna say is dai, which means like come on, and it's used in a lot of different situations, a lot of different contexts, but you might use it when you're wanting someone to like hurry up, who's like walking too slow, dai, or someone's teasing you and you want them to stop. It's like smettila dai, which is like stop it, come on. But yeah, it's used in a lot of different contexts. Now I'm going to get into some basic like question words. So I guess if you wanted to know like who, what, when, where, why, how, these are what you would need to know for that. The first one is quando, which means when. And then we have chi, which means who. Then there's dove, which means where. Come, which means how. Cosa, which means what. Now I'm going to get into phrases that I found to be really helpful for me during the early stages of my stay in Italy, and I guess all throughout it, but just as a starting point, these ones I feel like are really good to know. So the first one is parli inglese. So if you're not sure how to say something in Italian, but you don't want to be rude in just like speaking English as soon as you walk into a place, it can be a nice like transition to be like parli inglese, which means do you speak English? And oftentimes they'll have a little giggle, they'll say, oh, a little bit, or something like that. But I think they always appreciate when you initiate in Italian. It's always, I guess, received better and less, I guess, abrupt. Whereas went in and just started speaking English, as although there would usually always be someone that would understand you, or they would like go and get someone who would understand English, it's always nice to, I guess, ease your way into it. I just think like if I was in that position and someone came in and started speaking to me in a different language and I was like, oh, like I don't really understand what you're saying, and you have to like process a lot more, and you can't reply as quickly, and it might be a bit awkward. So I find that yeah, just saying parli inglese is a really simple way to, I guess, bridge that gap a bit and just be, I guess, a little bit more polite. The next one is come va. Now this is, I guess, a colloquial way to say how are you. It's like, how are you going? It's more, I guess, of a caring, from a caring point of view, like come va, how are you going? Yeah, just casual, I guess, in passing. How are you going with your work? How are you going in general? Blah blah blah. Next one is come ti chiami, which means what is your name? And then you would reply to that, mi chiamo blah blah blah. So mi chiamo Kaija, mi chiamo insert name here. The next one is capisco or non capisco, which I'm sure a lot of you will know what this means. So this one means I understand or I don't understand. If you understand something well, you can say capisco bene, or you can say non capisco niente, which I was saying a lot in my early days. So towards the end as well, I was saying that quite a lot. I was like, puoi ripetere, per favore. The next one is buona giornata, which means have a good day. And this one's a really simple one, but it brightens people's day when you say it. The next one is in bocca al lupo, which means good luck. And I really like this one because it's kind of the equivalent in English to break a leg, where you're kind of saying the opposite to what you want. So in bocca al lupo means in the wolf's mouth. So if you're in the wolf's mouth, you would obviously need all the luck you can get. And break a leg, obviously you don't want them to break their leg, but it's an opposite way of saying good luck. The next one is sto bene, which means I'm good, I'm okay. I use this a lot and it's a good reply to come stai. Sto bene, io sto bene. E tu come stai? The next one is ti voglio bene, which means I wish you well, I want you to be good. I guess it's like something that you say to people you're close with, your close friends, family, things like that. So yeah, it's just a way of saying like, I care about you, I want you to be well, I want you to do well, etc, etc. Then the next one is ti amo, which means I love you. The next one, which I actually ended up using a lot, which was che c'è, and it basically means what's up, like what do you have, what's wrong. And it's nice if you just want to like check in on someone and you think that there's something wrong, or they're a little bit quiet or not talkative, you can just be like che c'è, and it's like a nice friendly informal way of asking what's up, what's wrong. The next one is dammi un mano, which basically just means give me a hand, can you help me, can you give me a hand. And the last one is che schifo, which basically means that's disgusting. That's where I'm going to end today's video, guys. I hope it was fun and helpful and you learnt something today. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and make sure to subscribe for new videos every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.